Hi.
Hey, Anita, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
It's
You
good
hear
to
me
meet
okay?
you.
You hear
Sorry?
me okay?
Yeah, I do. I think so. I'm just gonna put my volume a little bit higher. Yeah, I
Cool.
think we're good. How are
All
you?
right. Good, good. Doing okay. Never done this
Cool.
before, so I don't know how this is gonna work.
Yeah,
Just trying to see
I'm
if,
pretty new at these also. These, like, when I started doing these split
hmm
screen musician in quarantine thing, this is pretty new to me. It's like, it started when I did these. And I just thought this was actually a good idea because throughout the quarantine, I know a lot of musicians are not able to play shows, and that's the way they reach a new audience, right?
hmm
And being a huge fan of music, not playing music, but listening to music, and music has helped me a lot.
hmm
I found that this would be a good way to spread the word because then I post them on my Facebook, I post them on YouTube, so it kind of spreads the word, you know? So I thought it was kind of an interesting way, and more people have been reaching out to me, and I've been reaching out to other people, so it's been a pretty cool experience so far.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a good way to use your time during the
That's
quarantine.
another thing. It's been keeping me
Yeah.
busy. It's been keeping my anxiety a
Yeah.
bit lower. It's been keeping
mm
me like able to do things, you know. So
hmm
it's fun. It's fun, and it
Yeah, for sure.
also I've discovered new bands such as one that I spoke to a couple of weeks ago, as well as you guys. So
Oh,
it's
great.
pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm assuming, yeah, you must have spoken to a bunch of new people and different
Yeah,
artists. And,
yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty fun, and I'm
that's
also going
great.
to be doing a few follow-ups now, talking to a few people who I've spoken to already
hmm
to see how it's been since we last spoke. So it's interesting. It's fun. It's been good.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so um, since it's our first time talking, I guess we can just introduce ourselves first. So, like I said, my name is Anita. As you know, just finished school, was supposed to graduate online yesterday, but they canceled it and they're going to be doing something else in the future. I don't know what or
hmm
when yet, but I guess we have to wait and see. I was in a field called special care counseling. It's working with special needs and basically anything in the helping profession.
hmm
So I'll be out there helping others, as I'm doing now, you know, spreading the word, helping, this kind of thing. Um, yeah, so I'm looking for work now, which is kind of not really happening.
Yeah.
So
It's a
I
little
guess
hard to come by right now. Yeah.
my goal is to work in a school, so I'm waiting to see the couple of schools that I've applied at if that'll work out. It's schools I've worked at in the past, so hopefully it's a foot in the door.
hmm
Yeah, that's pretty much me for now.
Cool.
You want to
Good.
talk
Good.
a bit about you and your band and
Yeah. Well, the band's called Mother Down. I mean, if anybody's have seen the stories and all that we've been
yeah,
posting, but yeah, I play guitar in the band, and we're a four piece, just rock band, rock, blues, grunge, that kind of style. Um, I mean, we're based in Montreal. For those of you that are
that's where I
a little,
am.
yeah, okay, yeah, there's the
A lot of my
internet,
friends
so
are in Montreal. I have friends elsewhere
yeah,
too, but
yeah,
it's cool.
for sure. And that's it. I mean, we've already put out an album, so if anybody wants to listen to it, you can find it on Spotify. You can find it all over YouTube. Um, some of the IG live, or the IG live, but the IGTV stuff. We
Mhm.
have some music up there. And yeah, if you want to support the band, it's also at cdbaby.com/motherdown. If you want to download the music too. But other than that, I mean, we were in the studio to do our second album. We had started to do it. It was in January and February. We had already started to track, let's say, 5
Mhm.
out of 9 songs. And we were hoping to have it done by, March, April.
Yeah.
And, well, it didn't work out as planned, but we got about 50% of it done.
Nice. So are you guys
And,
planning on like releasing some of the new stuff that is done already, or is that
well, I mean, none of it's ready yet.
okay?
Like I said, about half the album is, everything's written, but,
Okay.
half of it's recorded.
Okay.
And, we're just waiting to get back to the studio as soon as we can to record the rest of it. So, as soon as things start to ease up and we're able to get back in there, we'll
I
be
think
doing the rest of the songs.
slowly they're
But,
starting to open
hmm
things up now, but who knows for like this kind of stuff, you know?
yeah, well, they said, I think studios and music, rehearsal halls and all that kind of thing, June 1st
Okay.
is, but we'll see. We'll see how fast people
It's
are gonna
it's
rush back to
hard
do that kind
because
of
they
thing.
say something, then it
Hmm
keeps changing, you know? So
Yeah, there's
it's
a lot of
rough.
conflicting information.
It's rough.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
I
and
was
so that's it.
wondering.
So once everything is recorded, we'll get back there out there as soon as possible. And you'll definitely hear from us. Regarding the
Yeah.
second album and the rest of the
So
music.
are you
Yeah.
guys writing? You guys have been
hmm
writing throughout the quarantine, I guess, or money?
Yeah. Well, yeah, a little bit here and there. I've been writing. I always write. I'm always writing. I mean, I play guitar in the band, and I do a lot of their riff writing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always writing songs and that kind of thing. We released a song actually that I don't know. Maybe we'll play it later or not. But we were talking about it there.
Yeah.
And we had released it a couple of weeks back. And yeah, what was it? Perfect Imperfection.
Yeah.
And it's an instrumental tune.
Cool.
So I mean, we couldn't get together and do vocals and all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
given the circumstance. So yeah, so it ended up being instrumental, and we put it out. It's not going to be on the second album. It's just a song
Okay.
apart.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So
I was wondering, how long have you guys been around for?
band's been together for just over 4 years.
Nice. Cool.
Going on 5. So.
And how did you guys get the name of the band?
It's a funny story. The band was called something else. We were called Last Child when we first got together, and we found out that, I mean, maybe 2 years into the band, we found out that there was already another band that existed with the name, and even and they're like they're across the world. They're in the Philippines.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they're a pretty big band in their own right. They have a huge audience out there. They're pretty big out there. They're what seems to be a band with a legitimate following of thousands of people out there. So
Wow.
yeah, exactly. So we're like, okay, well, they exist and they're a thing. So that didn't
But we
really
can't
sit
be
well.
that band.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. We just didn't sit well with us. We're like we want it to be completely original and something that's completely different. And we didn't really want something else out there that's with the same name. So we changed the name to The Mother Down.
And how did that name come up?
And that name just came about just sitting around and talking,
Funny, sometimes just
shooting
talking, and just
that's it.
shoot the
Yeah,
shit, and then
exactly.
just come
Yeah,
up.
you took the words out of my mouth. Shoot the shit, and my singer Silvio actually came up with we just put the names together, and okay, that sounds cool. So we just put it together.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear these weird band names. I'm like, how did you
Yeah.
come up with that?
Yeah. It doesn't really mean
You
anything.
said
Yeah.
something all of a sudden, we were wasted, and we just came up with this name, and it's like, it just stuck.
Yeah.
It just stuck.
That's it. And then you put a logo to it, and then it starts to look like something, and you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And as long as it's got a ring to it, I mean, it doesn't. There's no rules in music. You do
I
whatever
heard
you
that.
want.
I found it pretty interesting.
Yeah, you do whatever you want. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's how that came about.
Sorry?
I said that's how that came about. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. It's so fun to know how they came up with their names,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always the type of thing that interests me too. Sorry, moving around here a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that interests me too. With bands that I've liked since I was a kid. I always want to know all the stuff behind the scenes. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, in quarantine now, like, we're all stuck at home, right? So how have you and how have the band been keeping busy? Like, what have you been doing? Are you working elsewhere? Or, like, what's it been?
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, I've pretty much been at home like the rest of the band. I recently started to work again because I'm also self-employed, and I'll do like I paint houses and do that kind of thing as well. I've been a music teacher for the longest time, but recently I also started to do this. And so with the weather turning, I'm able to work outside, so I could do that at least, which it's only been really the last week. So up until now, I mean, like I said, I've been just doing a lot of writing, a lot of talking with the band. What are we going to do moving forward once we get back? Talking about, the second album launch, how are we going to go about it? How we're going to put a show together, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Cool. So you said your side job, it's like construction or just like?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it's mostly, I guess you said well, now it's outside, but.
Well, yeah, at least I can, exactly. I can work outside and I work alone anyway, so I don't really have to be around people, and I'm doing my thing outside, and now that the weather turned, I'm able to do it.
Yeah, it's been so hot lately.
Yeah.
Have you guys done any live streaming or come out with shows? I know I see like all kinds of artists are making videos and live stream shows and all that.
Yeah, well, as a band, not really. We haven't been able to, get together and do that kind of thing. Given the situation, also some of us live apart, like a little further away from each other and all that kind of thing. So, to do the live stream thing as a band together, it just wasn't feasible.
Yeah.
So we just couldn't do it. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's
But I mean,
bad,
we got to release that song, and I have a little home studio set up, nothing crazy, but I
cool.
got the job done. So
So
we're
you do
able
a lot of
to at
like
least do that.
you do a lot of like in your like home studio, like a lot of recording and editing and all that, I guess.
Yeah, I'm able to. So I do a lot of that stuff here. I mean, our albums and any of the songs that we put out, besides the last one, we get them done at Avebury Studios. Actually, I think I saw him join in here, Matt Nozet's at Avebury. So we get our stuff done there, recorded there, and yeah,
Nice.
yeah, for sure.
Oh
He's
my
a
God,
great recording engineer. So
Sorry?
he's a great recording engineer. Matt.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
So we get all our stuff recorded, at a studio in a proper setting, as rock should be done. It's not meant to be played out of your bedroom. It's one thing to come up with the ideas and riffs on your couch and, all that stuff, strumming a guitar or whatever it is. But, we're a live band. We like to play live and we come up with our stuff live. And a lot of the songwriting is also organic too. I might have, a lot of the guitar based ideas and all that kind of stuff. But once it's brought to the room and we're rehearsing, a lot of the stuff just gets written as a band, as a unit, and a lot of it's just organic and just happens as it's, in the room together. And not necessarily just one person saying, oh, well, here's this thing I came up with and it's got to be this way, so everybody's got their input that way. And
cool. So what's the difference? So like when you record in this actual studio and then when you record at the home studio, like what would you say is the difference between the two? Like what would you do at home and?
Well, I mean, environment has a lot to do with it. There's different rooms, different studios, all have their own vibe. Different rehearsal spaces all have their own vibe, so you can play off of that. I mean, obviously at home, if I'm recording alone or anything like that, then, I'm left to my own devices and I can do my own thing, but if you're in a setting with an engineer and the rest of the band, everybody's feeding off each other too. So like that's a huge difference, really. You're going to get ideas and things that you may have not gotten on your own, just playing off of other people. So it's just being in a different environment around other people, obviously makes a huge difference, Sometimes just creative tension, which works out great, and then just, at home, you could sort of take your time. You don't really have anybody there or watching the clock or there's none of that too. So it's just a different vibe, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious, what bands do you compare yourself to? Like any?
You mean as far as influences?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really compare ourselves to other bands, but influences, I would say a lot of the early rock stuff. I mean, we're all into, 70s, 80s rock, 90s. We all grew up in the 90s. So we're all into, Aerosmith and Zeppelin and like Metallica and,
Nice.
The old school bands, but also a lot of blues stuff too. I mean, we have a cover on our first album, Smokestack Lightning, which is, it's a rendition of, the song Smokestack Lightning, which it's been covered by many people, but it's a Howlin' Wolf, cover, which is like a 1950s blues song, So we listen to a lot of music. The band together as a collective, we listen to so many different artists, I like a lot of hard rock and like even metal and some really heavy bands that the rest of the guys wouldn't listen to, and they might be into singer-songwriter stuff, and like our drummer Joe, for example, he loves a lot of funk and a lot of like old school funk and R&B and he listens to anything really with he's a drummer, right? So anything with a beat that catches his attention, he'll listen to, and my singer Silvio is like an 80s encyclopedia. He knows all kinds of stuff that I don't,
It's like all kinds of mixed.
Yeah, mixed stuff along with all the rock, you know? So, I mean,
Yeah.
we all like these different things, but it all comes back to sort of that hard rock,
Yeah, it's like
rock and
me.
roll
When
kind
I
of
like
style,
a
you
lot
know?
of people think I'm like into like pop and stuff, which I am. But when I tell them I like rock and like that kind of stuff, they're surprised. They're like, "Really? You don't seem that kind of person." But I am.
Right.
I like so many things. It's like
Hmm.
I wouldn't like say this is my thing. Like I'll go into all kinds of different music. I like the pop stuff. Like I used to listen like back in the 90s. I was a 90s girl and the Spice Girls and all that. And then like more like the pop. Like now I'm like Lady Gaga, big fan of Lady Gaga. But then I'm listening to like Simple Plan and like that
Hmm.
punk rock kind of, like all kinds. Like I'm really into. I'm a mix. So
Yeah,
I'm sure I
yeah,
like. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
yeah,
fun.
for sure, for sure. I mean, you can't really just box yourself in and just listen to one style all the time. You don't want to end up sounding exactly like those people. You know what I mean? So like, at least for me, myself, I try to get a mix of everything,
Like people ask me,
so
"What's your favorite type of music?" I don't know. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I mean, there's definitely music I don't like or I don't necessarily listen to. I'm not really one to listen to, pop or rap or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Rap
Some
for me
some of
would
it,
depend. It would depend like
some of it's
what
good, but
kind. Like I
hmm
used to not be into like the jazz and like that kind of stuff, but now I'm listening to it a bit more. So it's all over the place.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like whatever you like is cool. I mean, but as long as it like for us, we can go around and listen to a bunch of different music, but there's always that common thread of
Hmm.
rock,
Yeah, I get it.
and it comes out too in the music. So.
That's cool. I was also curious. I know a lot of people are saying that right before the quarantine happened, there was one thing they did that they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I did this before
Hmm.
quarantine hit." For example, the last thing I did was I traveled for a show. I went to Ottawa to see one of my favorite bands, and I'm so glad I went because if I didn't go, I would have been like,
Hmm.
there was
Who's
nothing
that?
Is there
What?
anything that you could say that you did or that happened that thank God I did this before quarantine because now I can't do anything kind of thing?
Um. Well, I mean, we actually we had a show the Friday. I mean, 2 Fridays I think before the quarantine,
Okay, yeah. That's
or
probably the weekend I was away. It was so surreal.
maybe even closer to that.
Yeah.
And like it was already in the news, it was already being talked about and all that kind of
Hmm.
thing. And it started to come over to North America, but it didn't really hit per se.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did a show with two other bands, another Montreal band and a band from Toronto
Okay.
or somewhere else in Ontario. I don't remember
Hmm.
exactly. And, they came down, they made the trip. It was a last minute thing. I mean, we played the show. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
We
It
had a
hit so
we had a
fast.
great time. Yeah,
It
we
hit
had a
really
great time.
fast.
And then before you know it, we're like,
Stuck.
cancel everything else.
Did you have a lot of shows planned?
Well, we had a lot of submissions to a lot of festivals that we were hoping to play this summer,
Yeah.
like in Ontario and in and around Ontario, outdoor stuff, and all that kind of stuff got postponed, and
Hmm.
we weren't able to follow up with any of that.
Yeah.
We were gonna obviously we were gonna take some time for the rest of the winter up until spring to record the rest of the album, and
Hmm.
then put that together and the whole concept of the album and package it and all that kind of stuff and get it ready for summer and start playing, in and around the city,
Yeah.
and then hopefully do leading up to an album launch, and that all got put on the back burner. So it'll
Yeah. You
happen.
guys like.
It'll
Yeah.
happen, but all
Well,
in
it
due
must have
time.
been fun to play that one show that you guys did then.
Yeah, well, this year. I mean, we had played a
Yeah.
couple of shows earlier, but earlier in the year before that, and then we ended 2019 with like a string of 6 or 7 shows, and one of which was our debut album launch was back in November or late October, and and we did the 6 or 7 shows. It brought us right up to Christmas, and then we're like, you know what, January, let's just go right back into the studio, start
Hmm.
recording the second album, and we're constantly writing.
Yeah.
Every jam, I mean, we're jamming every week, multiple times a week or whatever it is. And every jam, it's like there's always some sort of idea, a seed of an idea that's just there. and before you know it, they become songs. So we have a
Like
lot of
so
material,
often, you do
we have a
one
lot of
thing and then
material.
that gives you an idea for something else too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Or you just, they'll start to play something, and then it's not happening that week or for whatever reason, and then you go off and play other things, prepare for whatever it is you got to do in that rehearsal. You come back the next week, and it's sort of like
It hits you.
you let yourself rest, and then your brain is sort of thinking about it subconsciously, and then you come back to it, and then before you know it, you have yet another song, and then before you know it, you got like 20 songs. 25 songs or more, or whatever it is, and it's like, okay, well, let's go record them. So
let's go record them before we have too many.
Yeah. So we get a second album out of that, and there's more. There's more. That's, really, we could technically start a third album.
So when there's more,
with the amount of
third
songs.
album, I guess.
I mean, sometimes if or if we start to like put ourselves in writing mode, and we start to see, oh, you know what, all these songs we kind of like them better, or we're kind of moving in a direction where we're like, you know what, we like this better. Let's just stick with that, and we'll see what happens there, But all those other songs, I mean, they're still there. They're written. We do like temporarily record them, like the rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. So none of that stuff gets forgotten. But if we want to come back to them, then great. Yeah. There's a lot of phone recordings, hundreds of phone recordings. So.
It's better than nothing for now, I guess. Why not?
Yeah, but I mean, we record most of the rehearsals anyway.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, you never know. Oh, what's that thing you did? Or whatever. Like, it always happens. Constantly happens. And you'll forget. Or you get distracted or whatever it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, did you want to play the song?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Also, if anyone has questions, you guys can type them in and we can come to them at the end.
Yeah, for sure. If I flip this sideways, does this... Because I'm going to have to put this in a stand here. I don't know if this is going to screw up the...
Oh, well, for me, it's not sideways.
Is this flipped? Oh,
Does
for
it
me...
have to be flipped?
Yeah, because I got to put it in this, like, tripod.
Oh.
Because I've been holding the phone this whole time.
Are you able to put it, like, on a table with something in the back of it?
Not really. Not really, because this, the way everything's kind of set up here. If I push this back...
It's because mine is this way and the other one is the other way, and when I post it after, it's going to be, like, weird.
Yeah. What's, Who's this? Take the flip button off. The flip button is off. What is this? If I hit this in the bottom right, these two arrows, is this going to flip the camera? Let's see what happens here. Oh, no. It does. Yeah, it does flip the camera. Yeah, that's my door. Sorry. Yeah, I have to, because it's the only way I can do it hands-free and get the guitar in my hands.
Do you have a pile of books or something that I could stand up against?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Hold on a second. Okay. Just give me a second. Hang on me. Hold on. I didn't really set it up for this. I didn't think it was gonna... I thought maybe it was going to... Hold on. Sorry, guys. Staring at my nose. What if I do...
Thanks, Diana. I always know what I'm doing, Skyana. There you go. It worked. Everyone, a round of applause.
The books are good for something.
Always.
Okay, so let's see. I got sound here. How's that? Do you hear it?
I hear it fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is the song that we rehearsed, this is the song we released a couple of weeks ago. Perfect Imperfection. This is the instrumental song I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is the thing that we kind of wrote during the quarantine. And like I said, it's not part of the second album, but we did release it to YouTube, and it's on the Instagram, IGTV.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Cool. Let's hear it. That is so cool. Wow.
Thanks.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
listened to
So
the video. I think you had sent me the YouTube one or something. I don't remember what it was, but it's really cool.
yeah. So the
That is
video.
awesome.
Thanks. Thanks. The
Super
video
cool.
itself, that was our singer Silvio that shot the video. He did it all with his phone, just
Oh my
taking
God.
a lot of video from around the neighborhood, and he edited it, put it all together, and we put the
I
song
love
to it, and
it.
it worked out great. I mean, he's great at that stuff too. So
It's
yeah.
super cool. And I love discovering new music, so I'm gonna look a lot more into this now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like I
Super
said,
cool.
it's on YouTube, and the rest of the first album is up there as well.
I'm gonna definitely check that out. So cool. So if anyone has questions before we close up, you guys can type in your questions. I have a question. I'm curious to know, how long have you been playing guitar for?
Oh boy. Let's see. I started when I was 13, so 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Long
And
time.
you've played, I guess, different types of guitar for sure.
Yeah. Well, actually, I started with bass. I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't start with guitar. I started with bass for the longest time, and guitar came in later. But yeah, just started with bass. Went on to study music. Well, took lessons and all that kind of stuff, and then went to study music in college, university. I taught music for 15 years. I still teach here and there. I mean, but
Hmm.
now I have both jobs too. But
Are you
yeah,
teaching online now also, like music on? Because I know some people are doing it online now.
yeah, I was able to a little bit during the quarantine. Not too much, but I was able to a little bit.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
and so that was fun too. And then like for myself personally, I also write like outside of the band. I do a lot of like writing and composing also because I'm also into like film and television music. I really like
Hmm.
that kind of thing too. So I'm building my catalog doing that kind of stuff as well. In my
Cool.
time. So yeah.
Fun. Fun. Also, another question that was there any questions that came in?
No. Is there space to headbang? Absolutely. There's always space to headbang. If there isn't, you make space.
You have to make space, especially for rock bands.
Yeah. I've got hit in the head many times with instruments, so
There you go.
it happens.
Does anyone else have questions? I was gonna ask a question. I forgot what it was. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh well, if anyone has questions, you can shoot them. We have a few minutes, and then
Yeah.
I
I
know there's a
so
little
glad
bit of lag.
you were saying something about playing. Well, after how long I've been playing, and
I remember there was something I
I
was gonna say and I
remember.
forgot because I saw that question. Your favorite part of making a record?
Oh,
Ooh.
that's Matt. There's our engineer. Favorite part of making the record. Um, hmm. You know what? Finally seeing all the ideas come together and seeing it sort of, I guess, yeah, come together, come to fruition kind of thing. Because I
Hmm.
mean, it's one thing to rehearse as a band in the room. Sometimes people can't make it or whatever it is, and or even if the full band is there. Um, like on a side note, actually, I mean, for the longest time, the band had no bass player. So it was just myself, guitar. We had our singer Silvio and our drummer Joe, and it was just that. We had no bass
Hmm.
players. We're like, so and our first shows we played without a bass player. So we were just like, we were tired of waiting. We auditioned a bunch of people. It didn't work out. Some people had come and left, and so we just started playing shows without a bass player. And then eventually, now we have our bass player Nico, who's he's a great bass player. He's a great band member. So, that he finally got the lineup together. But you hear what I meant to say was is like you hear the songs one way in rehearsal, but when you're recording, I mean, you have a wide open palette. You could do whatever you want. There's a lot of sounds, sound effects, a lot of layering, a lot of different things you can do with like recording techniques and sonics and all this kind of stuff that you just can't do at playing
Hmm.
live. I mean, you can
Hmm.
recreate it as much as possible, but making a record is for the listening experience. And
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
something that's lost today, because people don't not consume. I don't like to use that word, but people don't listen to music the same way. as we used to.
Mhm.
I know for me, at least growing up, and I don't know all the people generations before us, I mean, people sat there on the floor, on their bed, whatever it was, with headphones on, listening to music the way it was meant to be, or
And they listen to every part of it, and they
yeah, of course.
notice everything. Yeah.
There's a lot of intricacies and a lot of
Yeah.
layers and a lot of things going around behind the music, or under the music, or whatever it is, or the cool use of effects, or this or that, or all that kind of stuff. So you get to do that kind of stuff with recording. That's the
Mhm.
fun. That's the fun stuff, and then putting it
Mhm.
all together and you know, seeing that
It's
all come
fun.
together is my favorite part of recording for sure. Making a record.
That's it. It makes sense. I never actually thought of it that way, but it's so true. I feel like now when I listen to music, I'm gonna listen to like everything. Like I'm gonna listen to the same song like 5,000 times just to
Yeah.
see every part of it.
Well, for sure. I mean, and during it's a lot of fun. And during the quarantine, I started to do that again too. Like I like just like everyone else, just because I play a lot of music or whatever. It doesn't mean anything, but I put the headphones on, put a pillow on the floor, lie down on the floor,
Yeah.
feeling, and just listen to my favorite Alice in Chains record or whatever it was, and you just hear a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, I haven't noticed that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's so many layers to the music that you wouldn't notice otherwise. And I mean, listening to music on your phone, it doesn't do it justice. You got this tiny speaker. It's
Mhm.
impossible to capture all the sounds, all the frequencies that coming out of that little speaker. So, go listen to your favorite bands and listen to them on headphones.
Listen to them well.
There's a lot of stuff you wouldn't have noticed. There's a lot of stuff that you don't hear.
Yeah.
Period.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna notice it more now that you said that.
For sure. It's just like rewatching a movie that you haven't seen in a long time, or just rewatching a movie a bunch of different times. You start to notice things that you didn't see the first time through
That's
or
what I was
whatever
gonna
it
say.
is.
Like when you
Same
watch
thing.
TV and movies, you
Mhm.
notice it. Like I've watched the same movie or whatever or show a few times, and I notice every time there's something different that I notice. It's true.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining today. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This was a lot of fun. Thanks.
And yeah, I'm gonna continue spreading the word of these artists because right now, like I said, they can't. And it's been so much fun discovering new music while doing this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I can't wait for a Montreal show
Yeah,
whenever that
absolutely.
happens.
We'll definitely put it out there. We'll let you guys know for sure. Hopefully it happens sooner than later and we can
I hope so.
get back to normal and do away with the masks and see
Yeah.
everybody's face again.
Hopefully now they'll start
Yeah.
opening like even if they just open like some bars and stuff and like the little concerts that they do in bars, right? And start off small, hopefully, because I know that those shows aren't as packed, right? They're like local and smaller.
Right. I mean, yeah, I guess, but
But
if you're gonna keep people apart, I mean, listen, it's a rock show, or what?
yeah, I don't
It
know.
doesn't have to be a rock show. It's just you're there, you're standing in the crowd, you're gonna be next to somebody. You
It's
can't
hard.
have a show and stand 6 feet apart from the person next
Mhm.
to you. It's just impossible. You know,
I hope it'll start
I,
soon though.
I don't see it happening. And I really doubt that the bar owners are gonna start putting tape all over the floor and allowing, you know,
Yeah,
getting people to
I
sit.
don't know. I hope it's gonna be sooner than later, but you never know.
Yeah. No, I'm optimist. I hope it'll be sooner than later.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, thanks again and have a great evening.
All right, you too.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.